I don't even know if that's in frame.
Oh yeah, sure.
Hi! That was a fun week of videos, and I've already gotten quite a few questions, which I guess was to be expected. So I figured, instead of answering them one-on-one, since a lot of them were private messages to me, but mostly from people that I know in my personal life, I wasn't going to do this because I've got a lot of the people that have inspired me to do what I'm doing are other YouTubers, and they have more than covered these topics. But I've got people in my personal life asking me questions, and I figure instead of just saying, go watch this YouTube video, go watch that YouTube video, I'll say, go watch this YouTube video. Something to do to answer them on a little bit more of a personal level, so I wrote them. Where's my... Hang on. That's better. Okay. So, these were all questions that I got kind of from multiple people, and I figured I'd just compile them. It's not a very big list. First question, where do you cook? Have you ever been camping? If you have, then you kind of got your answer. And if for whatever reason you haven't, or you just don't make the connection because you think camping is camping and your home is your home and they're just separate and that's just the way it is, well, the camping stuff can be used whenever you want. Now, I don't know if I would say like I'm this huge camper, but I've enjoyed camping for most of my life, and I have compiled quite a collection of, let's just categorize it all as camping gear, and I will be going into it in a little bit more detail in a future video. You cook, well, here, I mean, this is my house, right? So ideally, you'd cook outside, especially on a day like today, right? Once the van's built out, I'll have fold down tables that I can set up on. I've got other camping gear that would allow me to do that as well. But then, of course, the inevitable question that follows that is, well, what about winter? Because I do, live in a province in Canada that gets winter. Well, there's no provinces that don't get winter, except the little fantasy bubble that's over the Coquihalla called Vancouver Island. That's a little bit of an exception. But yeah, I do get winter, and then so it's like, well, where are you going to cook? If you're cooking outside, how are you going to cook when it's a blizzard out? Or when it's minus 40 degrees out? Well, I'll cook inside. Nobody would enjoy cooking out there. And that can also be said for any time of year that's not winter, if it's pouring rain as well, right? Yeah, I will be cooking inside the van. I'm building it out. I'm not just throwing clothes into a steel shell and calling it a day. It's a project, and I will be putting to use a lot of knowledge that I've gathered over my years to make it a very comfortable living space for myself. So yeah, where I cook in my house. Where do you shower? Yeah, so with VanLife, there's going to have to be some sort of adjustments, let's say. Adjustments and sacrifices. And living in a house or an apartment or a condo or what have you, the luxury of having a built-in shower or bathtub is exactly that. It's a luxury that we become accustomed to. And with a lifestyle like this, you do have to make, like I said, adjustments. And most people would say sacrifices. Here, again, spring, summer, fall, depending on where you are, you could go jump in a body of water. There's plenty of lakes, rivers. If you know me, I won't be doing that in Alberta. There's plenty of, again, camp-based showers you can get that are solar bags that you can hang and I could have a shower out the back of the van if I really wanted to. But if we want to talk serious, I mean, that's all serious. But if we're really getting down to the nitty-gritty, and again, we'll talk about winter, because I think a lot of this stuff kind of would revolve around that. Gym membership. There are a chain of gyms called Anytime Fitness, and you get a membership with there. I think it's like $40. Again, this all comes from my inspirations, and I know this. I didn't know. I'm not a gym guy. I don't have a gym membership. Would I work out at the gym? Probably not. But if you're paying utilities anyway, every month, why not pay about $40 for the luxury of going and having a shower whenever you want? Because the Anytime Fitness is anytime, 24/7. Good name. And of course, that and the next top are all going to have like a huge asterisk by their names right now, because when this video goes live, we are not only still very much in the COVID-19 pandemic, we here where I am locally are at the beginning of a brand new phase of lockdown and restrictions And so as an example, Anytime Fitness, being a gym, has been shut down. So I guess it's a good thing that I'm not actually living in the van yet. But again, it wouldn't be a deal breaker. There's stuff on Amazon, you can get wipes, I'm installing a sink, there's always options. You just have to be willing to think a little bit more sort of outside the box of what you perceive to be normal. And believe me, I like being clean. I'm a sweaty guy. I don't like going to bed sticky. Yuck! Where do you go to the washroom? Or more specifically how it was worded, where do you poop? I poop out my butt. Where do you poop? Ridiculous. It's a good question. It's a fair question. And to answer that question, I think I will go to my correspondent in the field. Matt?
There's a place here, and that's a twofer.
There.
Here. Well, hopefully again someday.
I'm pretty sure there's a few in there. That's a shopping mall.
Here.
Probably there, but that's a little expensive for me. There.
Here.
There.
Here.
There. And these are everywhere. There.
Here.
There for sure. And have a little fun while you're at it. Never been in there, but they probably have washrooms. There. If you're feeling frisky.
Here. And there. That's Walmart. Here. Definitely here.
Yep.
Had to get a key, but can't confirm. Bathroom.
Okay. We get it.
Hey, I like your shirt.
Thanks. Yours is very nice as well.
You know, where'd you get it?
Come on.
No, I don't know. Seriously, where'd you get it?
You know where I got it.
Come on.
Stop being weird.
Ah.
So as you can see, the area that he covered is just a sort of a small section of a very large city that I live in, and there are lots of options. Again, a few of them come along with the caveat of that we're in the middle of a lockdown, so not every single one of them is an option, but Canadian Tire. Again, you just got to be fine going in public. And of course, that will lead to the next question. It's not just winter, because those stores and stuff are still open during winter. Middle of the night, we gotta go. Well, this is where I would dramatically hold up a piece of camping gear and show it to you, but I don't actually have it yet because I don't need it yet. But I'll throw up some photos here. There's a few options, right? You can get the gravity flush toilets that are very expensive. Don't know if I'll go that route or not. Or you can just get the buckets. They're called like Lugaloo or something. And there you go. Now you got privacy in your house and you can take a dump in a bucket. Like again, these are all just things you adjust to and you will adjust to them, I assume. Because here it really comes down to this. Like every single one of you watching, there was a time in my life where I used to poop and pee in my pants. We've all done it. We were all there. We had to learn to use a toilet. And then we just became accustomed to it. So why can't you just become accustomed to a new way of doing things? It's all about being willing to adapt to your situation. If you learned it one way then, you can learn it another way now. Next question. What about the cats? Yeah, I've got 2 cats. If you'd known me a lot longer, you'd known at the height of my cat craze, I had 6. But I'm down to 2 now. And there's really only one option, but for the sake of argument, there's 3 options. We'll start with the ones that I don't really consider to be options, which are I give them up, or I like the Humane Society, or I give them to a family member. There's only one family member that would be possible with, and that's not an option for me. Neither is the first one. They're my fur babies. They're not little cats, they're old cats. But both of these cats, you'll meet them later on. We don't need to go into too much detail now. That was obviously a consideration in my head. It's adjustment. Cats can adjust to almost anything. It just takes time, which I've got more than enough of, and it's just going to be a slow process them. It will just be a slow process getting them used to a new lifestyle, just like I will be doing. But again, I've seen more than enough people do it. It's not impossible. They're coming with me. Like I said, they're my fur babies. Okay, next question. Where do you sleep? I'll sleep inside. Oh, where do you park and sleep? Okay, fair. A lot of people seem to think that that vehicle dwelling is illegal and not allowed, and that's just not the case. The quick answer is anywhere I want. From what I've researched and learned, as long as you're not being an idiot and drawing unnecessary attention to yourself by being obnoxious and annoying people, you can pretty much sleep wherever you want. I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, the term is stealth van dwelling, right? Now, I'm not into this for the thrill of stealth van dwelling, but if I find myself in a situation where I need to, their city is filled with these express vans. As long as you're not parking in places where you obviously probably shouldn't be parking, that shouldn't be an issue. Also, there's this awesome app called iOverlander that you can get for your phone. Obviously, every app's on the phone, Matt, shut up. And you go in there and it's all sort of user submitted, and it opens up a map of your area, and it's all user submitted locations around you where overnight camping is allowed, and then they go into detail and they'll tell you how many nights you can stay there and if there's a cost or not. Walmart parking lots in a pinch as well. Right? Like, you're just there to sleep, so park, crawl in the back, go to sleep, wake up, be on your way. Simple as that. Next question. What about your daughter? Yes, I've got a little daughter. She will be 1 year old very soon. That was a huge consideration, obviously, right? And if things had gone down differently, this probably wouldn't be happening. But it went down the way it went down, and she lives with her mom full time, and that is a situation we have established, and it's a good situation. It's a solid situation. Her mom is a great mom. She's doing an amazing job with her. No qualms there. And I see her whenever I want to see her. Really, it's been an open door policy. And until that day comes that changes, which I don't think it will, we'll address it then. But since she doesn't ever stay over with me, it's not a problem. Again, this is another topic. I've already made an entire video sort of about that, so we don't need to go into it too much. For those of you that are wondering, don't worry. You all know me. Y'all thought I'd make a good dad. I won't be a great dad. It's fine. Whether I'm living here or in a brick and mortar place being miserable, she's gonna be just fine. Okay, next question. There's only two more, and then they're gonna kind of go fast. Well, this one might not. Won't you get depressed / lonely? I don't like that those get lumped together because I really believe they are separate. Depression, in my opinion, and maybe it's clinical, but I've never studied it. But from what I know, depression is a real thing that people suffer with, and I hate that people just throw that word around as a catch-all. Oh, you had a bad day, or you're feeling down in the dumps, or you got a lot of body pain. Oh, you're clearly depressed. He's clearly depressed. No, depression is an actual thing that I believe is treatable. As far as I know, I'm not a doctor. I haven't looked into it. I've never been depressed. So do people get into moods? You get into bad moods? Absolutely, people get into bad moods. That's not depression. So I can't say I won't get depressed. All I can say is I've never been depressed. So that'll be a bridge that I cross should I ever come to it. But again, if you know me, depression probably isn't the first word that springs to your mind. But then the other one, lonely. And again, I really thought about this, and have I had moments of loneliness in my life? Absolutely. But again, from one of my inspirations, because I don't want to take credit for saying all of this, but I wholeheartedly agree with him, is that loneliness is a state of mind. The only person who can tell you that you're lonely is you. And it just means that you aren't being, creative enough or ambitious enough to keep yourself busy doing things. Again, this will make sense to people that already know me. But if you don't, I've always sort of been an introvert, right? I've always sort of been a lone wolf. And it's interesting because I was told once that being an introvert or being an extrovert doesn't mean you either hate other people or love other people. It just means it's where you get your energy from, your charge from, right? So being an introvert means the more I'm out and socializing with people, the faster I'm probably going to get drained and want to go to bed or something. And how do I recharge? I'm by myself. I watch movies. Let's get serious. Play games, go outside, go for walks, just keep yourself going. And then it's vice versa for extroverts. I'm not trying to give a lesson on this or anything, but extroverts are people that absolutely thrive and recharge being around other people, and more often than not, the more people they're around, the more energized they feel. And then as soon as they are alone and by themselves, they tend to really drop in energy and they get, drained, and then they got to go to bed and recharge. It's all very, who knows, that maybe that's the science, maybe it's not. I've always sort of liked that analogy because I never liked, oh, you're an introvert, you clearly hate people. No, I've been an introvert my whole life, but I've got great friends that I love being around. So I don't think it doesn't just mean you hate people. That's insane. But again, yeah, I really believe loneliness to be a state of mind. So you got to get out of your own head and find something to do. The depression and the loneliness and all going together like that, I would definitely be feeling worse about myself if I had to stay at a brick and mortar permanent address. Like I've said, and I will continue to say, is I've been missing out on things in my life of what I want to do, and that it's definitely just being out on my own, living for myself, and not feel like I'm strapped. So yeah, sorry, I'm getting off track here. But yeah, I'm not concerned about being depressed or lonely at all. And obviously, again, I can't predict the future. Should that change, y'all will be the first to know. All right, and then the last question here. How much does this cost? I have no idea. I'm just starting. The whole point of this is to keep costs down. I should be saving money. I should be able to get myself out of debt, right? And all at a easier pace than if I was paying a mortgage or once more paying rent, which really is just throwing money away. So those costs should be down. Now, if people are specifically talking about the build itself, I'll start trying to keep track of stuff as I do. I'm doing everything on a budget. There's a lot of scrap and stuff and whatnot where I am. I'm going to be recycling as much furniture as I can. I've already done a little bit of build in the van, and I repurposed IKEA furniture. It's no longer furniture, it was something else, but instead of throwing it out or selling it, I'm just reusing it. And that's what you kind of have to have as the initial mindset. Now, would I love to have this thing professionally built out and not have to do a thing? No. Would I love to have it professionally built out where I built it out with like schematics or something and really high priced materials? Sure. But that's not a reality right now. Maybe I'll get there one day. Hopefully that would be the goal, right? Like this thing will be ever evolving. That's what I love about stuff like this is it's always, if it can always be improved upon and you can always continue to learn, that's a really important thing to me. So yeah, I'll do what I can to keep track of costs. And that was if you were just talking about the van build. If people are talking about maintaining it because it's a vehicle, and maybe that question is coming from, I don't know, maybe you're not a person that services your own car. A lot of the videos coming up are going to be of me doing maintenance on the van because I'm not a big believer. It's not that I'm not a big believer. If the job's too hard or it's too technical, I will absolutely take my vehicle into a shop to have the service work done. But I will go into this again a little bit more in detail in a future video. But it was instilled in me very early on in my life to maintain your stuff. And let's get serious. We live in a generation, a society of, what's the word? Planned obsolescence. And we just throw stuff out and buy stuff new. And that has really, sorry, the sun's going behind a cloud. That has really started to rear its ugly head when it comes to automobiles. So I knew getting into this, not only could I not afford it, but I didn't want to get anything brand new because the newer a vehicle, the more computer parts it has and the more you can't maintain it yourself. I feel like I've gotten way off track here. The bottom line is I like to maintain my own vehicles, and I don't just mean oil changes. I mean everything from routine maintenance to when intricate parts like O2 sensors and your drive shaft and engine blocks, when they break, you fix it yourself. So that's all going to be part of this, right? And that helps keep costs down as well. When you just take your vehicle into a shop and say, yeah, I don't care what it costs, just fix it, they'll give you a quote. It depends on the shop you go to. They give you a quote on parts and labor. You know, a mechanic that's not trying to rip you off, it's about $100 per hour labor if they know what they're doing. And parts can exceed that because they're not going to look around and try and find you the most affordable parts. They're just going to find wherever they get their parts from, their supplier, right? And that's a fixed cost and it is what it is. But if you take the time and you look around and you find there's plenty of places online, probably in your local area, that will have wholesale prices for car parts, that's what you got to do. And then in that same vein, there are also auto wreckers. We've got probably more in town, 3 that I know of, where you can go and just find the same make and model, and you can rip out the parts that you need and replace them on yours, provided they're good, right? But anyways, I'm getting off track here. So yeah, those are some good questions. And I like that. Keep them coming. It definitely gives me sort of inspiration to do some more content for you guys. And I don't mind it at all. Keeps me engaged. I appreciate all of the questions. And I answered a lot of them. There was definitely a few that I kind of over. And like I said, those will be getting answered in more detail in future videos. So yeah, I am just going to leave it at that. So for now, guys, thank you for watching. I really do appreciate it. We're just starting out here. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be crazy. Just gotta stay positive. And like I've been saying, you only seen a couple videos where I said it probably, but at the end of all my videos, I usually say, just be happy, be creative, be yourself, be positive, or be weird, or be positive. It really is true. That will probably get a little bit obnoxious, but for right now, it's kind of what I need to keep going, because while most of everybody's reactions to the fact that I'm doing this have been overwhelmingly positive and supportive, there of course have been negative ones, and that's just, it's nice to know that it's nice to know that the support is there. So until the next one, guys, just be happy, be creative, be yourselves, and most importantly, just be positive. I'll see you guys in the next one.